This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
I think we've had a good week. I divide our 2020 season into different seasons really for our kids, and so our whole focus has just been on playing season one, which is a 6-game schedule, and approaching every game as of the same importance, the same prep, the same mindset. We haven't always done that. But I felt good about the approach this week. I like, the themes I planned back in the summer for the given weeks. I think the one we have this week is right on target. So I think that grabbed their attention a little bit on Sunday, and we've had a good week. Obviously, you got to play really good athletes coming from Southern Miss, and they can make you look bad in a lot of ways at times, and so we've got to have a really good plan as our coaches and make sure we're getting our kids in the best possible plays and defenses to have success.
All right, thank you, Coach. We'll take questions now using the raise hand option at the top of your screen. First one goes to Emily Austin from Flame Central.
Hey, Coach. I was curious on what players, if any, you have recruited on this Southern Miss team, or how familiar you are with some of those guys that you've recruited.
Extremely familiar with their quarterback. He was in Oxford, so I was very familiar with everything he did at Oxford High School, which was remarkable, and obviously came to all of our camps and is one of the more competitive kids I've seen, and extremely accurate, great family. So I know he's always going to compete at a high level. There's a linebacker out of Bassfield that I know real well. 2 of the receivers. I'm sure there's more. I just it's hard for me to think. I know numbers more so than names, and I am removed from there for 4 or 5 years now. So. I would say Jack is obviously the one I'm most familiar with. He was friends with my daughters, and so.
All right, next up we'll go to Damian Sordelef from Lynchburg News in Advance.
Coach, Emmanuel Dabney revealed yesterday that you actually recruited him when you were at Ole Miss when he was at high school, and then circumstances allowed him to come to Liberty when I think he was pledged to go to New Mexico. And just go through the process of getting to know Emmanuel in high school, and then what the process was like to get him to Liberty.
Well, yeah, that the high school Emmanuel's from produces players every year in out of Jackson, Callaway, and we signed many kids out of there in my tenure there, and so I did recruit Dabney from there and got to know he and his family real well. Obviously, I think he ended up signing with either Southern Miss or Mississippi State, one out of high school, and then went the JUCO route. But I know he spent some time at Southern, or at least I thought he was going there. I can't remember all that. You'll have to ask him. But when we first got here, I had I don't know. I think I was hired early December, 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that maybe. And you only have a week before mid-year signing really, and there was obviously we needed to get as many FBS players we could at mid-year so we'd have for spring ball, and I didn't have much time, and so you start thinking about, do I have any relationships with kids that we could possibly sway to come with us, and that was one of those that he was headed to New Mexico or New Mexico State one, I think, and we were able to convince him to come with us.
All right, next let's go to John Manson from A Sea of Red.
Coach, you mentioned the theme that you have this week, kind of hitting home with the players. What is your theme for the week, if you want to share?
Yeah, that one's I'm probably not going to share that one just now. Maybe after the game.
Let's go to David de Guzman from FXR Roanoke.
Not because it's anything. It's just without me explaining it all, and which would take me 5 minutes, and we're not going to do that today. But it just may not sound exactly right to you.
Coach, after such a prolific win, what's the message to your team about avoiding a letdown this week?
Well, it started Sunday with us throwing that one in the trash. We celebrated Saturday, had a great time together. Obviously, it's been a week full of media requests for all of us in regards to that win, and so that's kind of distracting a little bit. I'm much better now at 51 than probably was at 40, handling that. Hopefully, the kids have done the same. I think they have. I think they understand that the magnitude of this game is the same as the last. You may not get the same attention because it's not a Power 5 program, but certainly when we look at our goals for this year and our goals for season one, it is now realistic for us to defend our home field every single game and to finish season one with a 6-0 record. And as I told them this morning, we have not been perfect as individuals. We haven't been perfect as an offense, defense, special teams, but we've been perfect together as far as the record goes. And hopefully they understand that this game carries that same magnitude, and if they want to continue to be in the discussions as an invitee to the college football party, so to speak, which is what our theme kind of is about. But if they want to continue to be in those discussions, then they better understand, they better be ready to play a very good and athletic football team this Saturday.
Let's go to Leo Johnson from College Football Primetime, and then we'll go back to Damian.
Coach, you said you were familiar with Southern Miss QB Jack Abraham. How does he compare to the rest of the QBs you faced so far this season?
Oh, I would think without doubt he distributes the ball better than any we faced. Some may be taller or faster or fit the height weight bill better than him, but he's one of the more accurate passers I've ever seen, really, and I'm not exaggerating that. And he will know exactly where the ball should go and understand the timing of routes. He's a football junkie. His football IQ is high. I've been around him too many times at all of our camps and in ball talks to I know exactly what we're getting with him. But he absolutely will distribute the ball better than any quarterback we faced.
He learned that from your camps, Coach.
I wouldn't say that. I would have to give. We'll give credit to longtime Coach Johnny Hill for and Coach Cutt's son, who coached him there too. So they did a great job with him in high school.
Amy, go ahead.
Coach, want to get an update on the injury list from this week. First, I'll start with the wide receiver. How did Javion, CJ, and Noah practice this week?
Javion's is out this week. He has a partial tear with his PCL, so he's kind of he needs the open week. Hopefully, he'll be ready after that. Noah did some good things today. I think he and CJ both will still kind of be game time. They both have practice this week in some limited roles. Noah went most everything today, but we'll kind of see how they're feeling at game time.
How's Josh done this week, Josh Mack?
The swelling, and he had an infection in his elbow that kind of made him sick that day before we left. I think he had a good practice today, so I think he'll be, as long as he can hold on to the football, he will play. He's feeling much better. That elbow still got some swelling in it, but as long as he can hold on to it, he will play.
Last two, how did Tim Glass, did he look like he's ready to play this week? And how about Trevor Hobbs? Because you said earlier in the week he's a possibility of being back.
Yeah, no, Trevor's ready. He had a good week, and Tim Glass had an okay week. He says he's going to try to go. We'll kind of see how that goes, but he did practice every day this week.
All right, let's go back to John.
I know you're deep in preparation for Southern Miss, but did add UMass to the schedule, into the season. What's your thoughts just about getting that game on and get to an 11th game, hopefully, if all the games stay on the schedule? Yeah,
just you got to thank Ian and his staff for doing things like that for us. We, I think it's a good game. I think they're an independent. We're an independent. It's good that we play each other every year, and certainly, helping accommodate them and giving us an 11th game, because as you know, all of us are kind of week to week as to what the possibilities of playing are. I mean, I told Ian at the beginning of the season, man, if we got 10 games in, we would be probably the most blessed, fortunate team, in the country. And that's kind of proven to be true so far. And but all of us are one test or 1 week away from having news that we don't want to hear. And I hope we make it through. But picking up that 11th game, still gives us some. Our goal is to get all 11 in, and hopefully we can. So I thought that was really good and welcoming.
Coach, it was reported yesterday that Coach Walden's going to miss the game for them with COVID-19. I know that you stay focused on your own house, but does that have any impact or bearing on what you guys are going to do Saturday?
No, zero. Obviously we don't like to hear that for any player or coach or anyone. So certainly hope that he's one of the cases that's not having a lot of symptoms or sickness. Hate that for him and his kids, but it really doesn't change how we approach the game.
Coach, as a follow-up to that question, is this just kind of that another consistent reminder that we're still living in this COVID-19 world, and the message to your team is you gotta keep staying safe and keep being careful?
Yeah, David, I don't need any more reminders because we have it every single week. I mean, it's just, you're getting tested 3 to 4 times a week depending on who you play, and it's constantly on your mind. I can't get away from, we tested this morning, and, I'll enjoy an afternoon kind of away from the office like I usually do on Thursday afternoons. But as soon as it gets through, on my mind will be waiting for the text to come, tonight sometime, usually around 10 to 11. On the results. So you just never get away from it, and so you're just constantly reminded that it's hanging out there, and it could affect your team as well as it does others. And then of course next week we have an open week, which that'll be an uncomfortable week too.
Damien, go ahead.
Yeah, with the open week, do you change the patterns of typically give guys a lot of time off during the week, and how have you figured out how you're going to structure that so that way you're trying to keep them within the bubble as much as possible?
Yeah, we've got the whole plan already done, but it's impossible. I think our kids have done a nice job of we've been very fortunate with the test. We're going to practice next week and try to get better. It won't be as long of practices, and obviously we'll continue with the bubble principles around the food and the academics and all of that. But ultimately they'll have a little time next weekend to get away from me and me get away from them. And but we'll be stressing, take every precaution possible.
All right, anything further for Coach? One last one, we'll get to Leo.
Being that you are a graduate of Southern Mississippi and coached at Ole Miss, how much does this game mean to you?
Truthfully, I know that there's been some talk of that. I just want to win. I don't know that it really. Now, it probably would hurt me more to lose to them than to somebody else. I've got some good friends there and all of that, but I don't think about it in those terms a whole lot. I just, I think about how blessed I am with these kids, and these are my guys, and this is my family, and this is our staff, and this is our home, and I want to defend it whether we're playing them or somebody else. Certainly after the game, it might mean a little more when you get to maybe send a text to Brett Favre or somebody, or one of those guys that's your friends back there. But it really I hadn't spent 5 minutes thinking about, I want to beat them worse than I wanted to beat Syracuse or somebody else.